Hey guys, so I decided that I'm gonna make a video about why I decided to hike 100 different trails within just a few years. And this title is not a clickbait or anything. Currently I am hiking like a very short trail here in Buckeye. I'm at Skyline Regional Park. This is one of the closest parks that I go to because it's free and it's just pretty close and there's beautiful views around here. I do want to get started in talking about a little bit of my story, and I really hope you enjoy hearing this. Over 100 hikes in a few years. You're probably thinking, wow, this girl does not have a life, or how does she even do that? I mean, it's not as hard or really weird for that matter, because I mean, hiking is a hobby for some people, right? And that, for me, hiking became a hobby, and it was a hobby that actually helped me in a lot of ways. And I think you've probably heard or read the benefits of what hiking could do. And for me personally, it was something that I just really have to continue doing. So, for one, I'm just going to talk a little bit about my story. So in 2018, I decided to move to the West Coast state of Arizona from the East Coast state of New Jersey. I was not born in New Jersey, I was born in New York, but I was raised in New Jersey for 20 plus years. And in New Jersey, there are nature trails there, but I didn't grow up outdoorsy at all. My parents aren't, my siblings aren't, most of my friends weren't outdoorsy either, and the only thing close to the outdoors for me was exploring the Jersey Shore. So going to the beach on the weekends, especially in the summer, was a thing to do. And even like in the winter, sometimes we would just hang out by the beaches because it's just really cool to see. And for the most part, in my childhood, I was just playing games with like my childhood friends. You know, we would play outside, we would just do all those things. And in the summer, I would swim in the community pool with my friends, and that's how I actually learned how to swim, besides the fact that I've drowned a few times when I was young. I did not grow up outdoorsy. I wasn't into hiking back then. I didn't even do any camping when I was young, except for like a 6th grade trip. But I actually had two friends, well, they're still my friends, and they're my best friends, introduced me to hiking. And they don't hike often, but when they do, it's with their families. And I remember in 2016, that was my second official time ever hiking ever. And we decided to do a nice little day trip to what was that? Oh, Stairway to Heaven, which is a beautiful, popular trail in New Jersey. And I just loved it. I loved the feeling that I felt that day, and I was looking forward to more. After that hike, we continued to hike together here and there, but it wasn't like often at all. It was just once in every few months, and I really loved the feeling. But I, at the same time, was not prepared to hike a lot more until that story changed when I moved to Arizona. And in Arizona, everyone knows there are so many different trails here, and it's just beautiful scenery here. There's mountains, there's the desert, and then we have bodies of water, which are lakes and rivers. And then up north in Arizona, we have red sand, red rocks. The scenery is just really diversified. And there's also like forests in cities like Flagstaff, Payson, and more cities all the way to east. I always knew and read about how there are so many beautiful places in the state, but I didn't really have friends when I first moved here to explore those places with, right? I had to have a way where I could explore those places. So one of the biggest reasons why I moved out here in Arizona was because I wanted a new change in life. Not only that, but my family or my parents have moved here the year before I did, and I want to be closer to them. And also my aunts and uncles and cousins all live here too, on my dad's side. Though I remember randomly, a few months just moving here, I'm gonna go do a solo hike in Scottsdale at McDowell Mountains. And that's what I did. I went and hiked in McDowell Mountains, and I kind of just exerted myself. I wasn't prepared for that hike, but I remember still loving the feeling that I felt after I completed it. And then just a few months later, I heard about this challenge called 52 Hike Challenge. And I decided, you know what? This is really cool. I am going to sign up for this challenge. I'm not sure if I'm going to complete it, but I'm going to do it because it just seemed really cool. And I was looking at everyone's photos that had participated, and I saw how beautiful that they were able to see all these sites just because they decided to sign up for the challenge. And the challenge is to hike a trail at least once a week for a whole year. That's why it's called 52 Hike Challenge, because there's 52 weeks within a year. So, going back to why did I decide to hike 100 different trails in just a few years? Well, that was the biggest reason why I did. I joined the 52 Hike Challenge, and I just constantly motivated myself to hike every dang week for a straight year. And I did this from 2019 to 2020. And sometimes when I haven't hiked in that 1 week, I would probably just do 2 different hikes within the following week. And I'm not saying that it all went smoothly, because there were times where I did get hurt out here hiking, because the air desert is not always the safest place to do these hikes. I mean, we have harsh, dry weather, and the heat here could be extreme. And I, at one point, got dehydrated at 90 degrees weather because I was unprepared and didn't know what the effects would be hiking in that type of heat. And I had to be hospitalized, and I found out I had costochondritis where my chest hurt. And then hiking Camelback Mountain, I had a thorn of a cactus stab me right on my thigh, and that actually caused this skin infection called cellulitis, so I had to be on antibiotics for a week. There was stories like that where it wasn't always smooth, but here I am still hiking, and I love it. And it did become kind of a hobby and obsession, but in hindsight, it was part of what I really just wanted to do. And what I really wanted to do was document my hiking, was to document my travels of where I hiked. And in 2017, when I was just a junior in college, I needed an outlet, a creative outlet, because I was just so busy studying for school and not having something that would be a hobby. But I found out about blogging, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make a blog. So I've been blogging since 2017, and when I moved out here and did all these hiking, this actually fired something in me, sparked a burst of creativity in me even more. Because every time I was hiking, I had these ideas in my head. This is the content I want to make. This is the content I'm going to cover. These are the photos I'm going to take. This is what I wanted to talk about in a blog post, was all the history behind these trails that I explored. And that is what I did. for a whole year straight, or like even till this day, because I've been hiking for a long time. And now I am indeed a paid blogger. I don't blog full-time yet, but I am a part-time blogger, and yes, I do get paid doing what I do, and I'm very blessed for that, because if it wasn't for the creativity, if it wasn't all for all the hiking and the outdoorsy places that I've explored, I wouldn't have been able to turn passion to profit. But here I am, kicking butt doing it, and I just love what I do. But behind all that, why I also wanted to continue to hike so much was to help my mental health. I went through a few rough years where I had questioned my self-worth. My self-esteem was pretty low, and I felt like I was knocked down a lot. Part of what was happening with me the last few years was that I went through a lot of things like heartbreak, unemployment, a lot of job rejections, loss of friendships, and I was doing some things like drinking a lot and doing things that just were not healthy for my body whatsoever. And those things really just weighed so heavy on me. And I really didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know how to start being healthy. And I think for me, hiking was that reminder and that escape for me to know, you know what, girl, you deserve so much more. Why are you going to continue to put yourself through all these things when you deserve the world? You deserve to see the world, and you deserve to just continue to be healthy so that you could be the best person for not only yourself but to others. It took me so long to find what my purpose was in life. It took me so long to learn to love myself. And it took me so long to have the confidence that I do now. But I owe it all to just pushing myself to get out there, to live life, to hike. And I am really grateful for all the experiences that I've been able to give myself. And sometimes in life, we need to do that. Sometimes we do have to seek out things, not because someone is telling us to do it, or not because, we're obligated to do it, but because it makes us feel good inside. Yeah, sometimes I do struggle with my mental health, like everyone else does. And I know that if I could face just being alone out here in nature to remind myself how big and beautiful this world is, and that our problems are actually just way smaller than what the world could give us, then I'm going to continue to hike. I'm going to continue to put myself out there to seek adventure, to seek beauty, and I think that we all could just do that for ourselves. So yes, I did a lot of solo hiking. Solo hiking is not always safe, but solo hiking empowers me. And for those who do solo hike, understand what the feeling is like. And sometimes I do hike with friends or family, but I remember the most, the times that I felt empowered the most was when I solo hiked. I hope you liked my little message here, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you later.
Off me at all. So if you don't wanna see me, then so is somebody.